Hello once again to another behind the scenes of Doubt. Today we're gonna do something kind of similar that we did last time with the wings. Just gonna show you another integration for a different ability. This time, however, the ability itself is not implemented. We're gonna do a projectile, and last time I'd already had double jumping programmed in, and this time around is very much going to be from the ground up. So, my step-by-step of what we're going to do today, hopefully we can all do it in one day, is first to create the player animation for the projectile itself. And then I'm going to make 3 other different animations for the projectile. Now, it's either going to be 2 or 3. If it's just going to be 2, it's just going to be the flying loop plus the hit or the splash whenever it hits something. And the third one will be the projectile when it launches. But I don't know yet if that's necessary, but we'll start with the flying loop and the hit for the projectile. And afterwards, it's just implementing it into the game. Now, what I was thinking already was already I have 2 types of abilities. In this game, there's going to be faith abilities like the double jump that used angel wings, as well as doubt abilities, which yesterday I made a dash ability that allows you to dash further and dash quicker. Just gonna showcase these here. So the way I'm gonna pick them up in this demonstration is gonna be via like a pickup system, which I don't think I'm gonna have in the game. The buffs are gonna be tied to the NPCs, which I will do a short case of at another time. Okay. So this is the dash ability. Wait, I should have showed what the dodge looks like beforehand. Okay. And there's a reason why I'm showing you this. It'll lead into the projectile ability afterwards. So, normal dodge is at 10% speed. Doesn't look too good on its own, but or slowed down. But I think it plays pretty well. I'll just show a speed demonstration. Right. So we're just gonna get a double jump and dash ability. The icons are still kind of work in progress, so it might be not as representative. So this is a new dash. If I slow it down. So this is a doubt based ability. And I'm gonna show you, and this is a faith-based ability. There's a few more post-processing or like special effects I could add to it to make it a bit more, because I have some like purple smoke coming out of the player whenever he dodges. So maybe I can have a bit more going on with the double jump to make it a bit more like an ability rather than just a small little extra. And for the projectile ability, I was thinking that it is also a doubt ability. I'll explain doubt abilities and faith abilities sometime later down the line, or maybe when I'm rambling I'm gonna say that. But for now, we're just gonna get straight into it. Now, the way I work with, we're gonna go directly to the player animation. I'm actually gonna open Pinterest on the side for some inspo. I'm thinking something like Kamehameha, Rasengan type of thing. So, energy attack. I'll write that. Now what I'm more interested in is how the player looks. Here, I can bring this here. When creating the energy attack. So I like this. This is kind of cool. What does this GIF look like? It's just a fight scene. It's cool, but it's not what I'm looking for. This looks fine. This is a bit too anime. This is interesting. This top one is looking close to where I want to go. So actually, I'll keep this in another tab. This is also close. I'd love to do like a pose like this, a bit less intense and without the foreshortening. Okay, we're kind of losing some. No. So we're losing that a bit. By the way, you guys are gonna hear some drilling there, working on the terrace and the balconies and stuff like that. If you don't, good. If you do, sorry. Oh, there's this. No, okay. So it's really looking like we're gonna do something like this. So I'll just put this to the side, and now is time to look for a pose that's closest to that. Now that I have a bunch of animations for the player, it's just easier to like start with something I already have, just so I feel like when you draw something new from the get-go, you can lose its likeness to like the base pose, which can lead to some animations feeling disjointed. So it does two things. It makes my job a bit quicker and easier, and it also maintains the feeling that it's all just the same character doing all of these actions. I'm looking for something where he's kind of... Oh, because I do want to have it tied to the heal button, so maybe I start with the heal, wherever the hell it is. And I'm probably going to use like the ending of like the sprint and stuff that has him kind of slouch and hunch over a bit. Okay, we'll open this. Okay, what we got? I think I could, seeing that, like I said, the buttons are shared, and the way that the attack will come off is if you just tap the heal button, which right now I have them as the north face buttons and L. Okay, so if I can have something that leads into this, so just save it as another one. Boy, projectile. Do I need these guys? I'll keep them just in case. Actually, I will do a copy. I'll get rid of these. That's the idol. That's the idol. Oh, actually, I think I just want like maybe 2 or 3 frames of the action itself, and then maybe a couple of frames that are a bit more sparse as for the recovery. So I'm actually we'll do sprint. I'll have to open dash to, because I'm thinking that the tendrils of doubt just go from the boy's heart and through his arm and out into a projectile. There's also to decide how big I want the projectile to be as well. So let's start with one animation at a time. So I'm looking for sprint. There we go. And I'm actually gonna copy this and put this here. I also have it's on my dead computer now, but I have an animation from a Cotton Candy, which is another game I was making, of the player character essentially morphing her hand into a shotgun. The pose she was making kind of works properly with this type of thing, but we'll see what we can do just off the bat. So let's, I think I want something, a mix like this and this. Okay, let's do this. So here we'll delete this, delete this, delete this. This is gonna be blank, and boom. Okay. Start workshopping some stuff. I should probably show like what was my approach for the dash ability too. So if we go to the dash, so essentially I have, what I had done is I just drew, like I just, do I have an older thing right here? Oh yeah. So this is where without the blotch. So I just have him like do that essentially, and then I added kind of like the purple going, like taking over a bit. Looks a bit funky. It's supposed to go at about like 150 in game, and the frames are spread apart a bit. And then as I went, I did a few edits with these other things right here. I also have a grounded version and a ground version, or an air version. Now it's really pulling everything is, shall I do the ground version, are the tendrils that are coming out. So if I take these out, it's just that blotch that I kind of switched around a bit. Just did a few edits to make it look more like the doubt enemies. And then I added these tendrils without the lines, which looks cool, but it just, like without the lines, it looks cool. It's all messy and stuff. But most of the game is outlined, so I just wanted to keep that consistency. So I just outlined them coming out of the boy's heart. Like that. So, and I can slow it down just to destroy the illusion. But that's kind of like where I want to go with the projectile ability. So I'm gonna start with just like the boy doing the action, then I'll add the doubt, blotch kind of going through the boy's body, and then I'll do the tendrils afterwards. But for now, I still need to. I don't need this anymore. Also don't need the dash. So I don't immediately know what I want to do. I'm trying to picture like what it would look in game. I don't want it to be too like, anime epic. But it can't be static, it's gotta stay with the art style of the rest of the game. By the way, this way that I'm drawing the frames is just out of laziness a bit. Let's move this a little back. It just makes it easier to, merge. Just makes it easier to just grab everything. When I started, I was doing line art, like a line layer, a color layer, and a few other layers for things that needed to change, like the shading, and there was like a few layers for the lines themselves. Nothing, too crazy. But it was a bit more intricate than what I'm doing now. Now I'm really treating it like an actual painting. Like everything's just kind of in one layer. Makes it easier for the animation. Plus, it doesn't need to look too good because it's in motion. I think it's also very important that I don't just, strictly use the liquefy tool and just transform tools when changing the animations. Most of my animations were drawn one by one separately, especially the base ones. But now, just to save myself some time, I already have a bunch of different poses already done. It just makes my work quicker. But despite that, if you have something that looks too close to the other, it just doesn't flow too well. So I'll just make like little changes here and there, so it just looks there's more. Even to that, I can bring this lower. It just looks like there's more movement throughout the entire body instead of just at key locations. So I think what I'm doing right now are going to be the recovery frames. But we'll see what turns up. Does that work on this? Going into these, I'm never really too confident in what I'm doing, but typically it ends up with something that I like. So letting you guys know that right now I'm looking at this, I'm like, what the hell am I doing? But I had the exact same feeling with the dash ability, and I really enjoyed how that turned out. So try to be patient on myself and let it happen, you know? Okay, now that plays really quick, but let's see. There's also a chance that I work on this for a little while. By the end of it, I just don't like the idea. Now, what you could do to mitigate that from happening is, or to help mitigate that from happening, is just to plan out, to thumbnail your thing. But I sometimes like just to go straight into it and kind of Bob Ross it a bit. Have a bunch of happy little accidents happen. I feel like with art, a lot of the time, you can't really plan it out too much. Sometimes you gotta allow whatever happens to happen. And sometimes when you do that, you end up with things that could be potentially much more cooler than you initially thought. Another thing that I learned while doing animation, especially when it comes to like action and stuff like that, or actions, is it's okay to not draw every single frame like it's its own like masterpiece. I learned this from Naruto, the infamous stop frames with Sasuke having his neck twisted and what have you. And that gives me comfort that, in motion, not everything has to be perfect. Also, in that case, it's meant to emphasize the whip of an attack. But it just goes to show that when things are moving quick enough, we don't really notice it. Looks like he's whipping. I'm onto something. What if I take this out? Okay. So I like the snappiness of it. The doubt effects will do a lot of the heavy lifting, but okay. Now, just to remind myself, actually, I'll do. Another one. Do this with a new layer. This is gonna be my little purple layer. Grab this for the colors. And I'll grab this to remind myself how I did all of this. Okay. Okay, and now is the tendrils. That looks kind of fun. Oof. Oh, that sounds a little creepy. What? Okay. So these are a bit more sketchy. I think I have these to be. Yeah, let's double that. Boom. Oops. Boom. Yeah, okay, I like that. 70% maybe. Oop. Boom. Boom. Okay, and I can merge these. Alright. Cool. Actually, at the end there, let's just make them smaller and twist a bit more. Cool. Alright, actually, Okay, so like that. So we're gonna export that directly. Now, I just want to take a break from the drawing just to start setting this up to see what it looks like in game. Okay, now let's do a bit of changing here. So I'm gonna make a variable that replaces this. You'll have to excuse me for the lack of talking. I'm just kind of processing all of this in my head while it's fresh. Alright. Now just to connect it back to the idle. Okay, right now I don't need the ability to do that. Let's just see if it works. Ha. Okay. So we almost got it. So that should be good. I don't know. I feel like 0.5 seconds is too long. So let's just half it by 2. .25 feels nice. Cool. I think I'm gonna slow down those last frames. You guys also get a good idea of what it looks like without the effects. Okay, I like the timing on that. Now, I think I'll do the projectile itself before doing the art. Just gonna write this. Okay. Issue. This is so messy. I just want to see what all of this looks like. Alright, let's see how this works. Probably won't, but let's give it a try. It works. Yes. Okay. Just a few more things. I do have to bring it a bit higher too. Okay, I'm gonna take a break for today and continue tomorrow. My brain is a bit jellied right now because I need to create a buffer for this so it feels smoother. So I'll write that in my notes, and I'll be back with part 2 tomorrow, but for you guys it's just gonna be a little jump cut. See you in the future. Tis another day, and we're here to continue the projectile ability. This morning I did do a bit of tweaking, so if we give this a try. I fixed a few things and added a bit of effects. So I'll just close the volume here. So I don't know if I recorded this yesterday, but I was having some weird, like the player would continue falling down upon using it when I want him to just stop. I also created a buffer system, so if the button's pressed while doing another action within a quarter of a second, it performs whenever it's ready. So if I just click 1, 2, or even at the same time, because it's fast enough. Same thing for like I don't know if you guys can hear the key pressing, but there we go. And I also just have a little thing, so if you like press it and you really quickly press the opposite direction, it's going to turn the player like that. And I do have one problem, as you can see, where I have it so it stops when it hits a wall, but just sometimes, I don't know why it does that, but it just continues through. On the other side over here, there's just a test boss over here. And it just goes all the way through. And I can't seem to replicate it reliably. See, look, like it hit the wall in the back. Sometimes it goes all the way. Sometimes, yeah, there it went all the way. And I'm not too sure why. Actually, I have an idea, but no, I have no clue. So that I'll try to fix at the same time. Today I'm just gonna continue the I'm gonna create the projectile. So I already have these I already have some animations. I added some particles to follow with it. For now, it's a little placeholder. I just have these simple animations, so when it launches, it does this projectile thing. What? Let me just try something. Maybe it has to do with the size or something like that. I don't know. Ooh. What was that? Why does that? Interesting. Oh, is it because it's big enough to... Okay. I think it's immediately hitting the ground for whatever reason. I think what I could do... I also added the focus bar to be consumed. The values aren't at 100% right now. Well, what if I make a stay as well for just the walls? So here I just have it when it hits a wall or the ground, it's supposed to, for now, just stop, like stop moving by changing this flag to hit. I want the projectiles to continue through enemies, but to stop when they hit walls or just any other object. So that's pretty much it. Oh wait, I just realized something. I wanted to... Could be like an extra thing, but I thought I put this here, but I guess not. Just to deactivate the collider when it hits something. Dang it. Still hits, so that was useless. I don't know what could be causing that. It could be like a frame rate thing where... Because I notice... This is what I noticed. If I slow it down, I think I have it at 10%. It like goes... It's not like a smooth transition, so I might have to use like move to instead of see, that just went through, I think. No, it didn't. That one went through. Let's try move to. Actually, I don't want to set like a target location. So Can't use move towards, I can't use lerp. The problem is this is sometimes not colliding. Yeah, it still goes. So that doesn't matter either. Okay, I'm gonna try a bunch of things and go kind of silent. This will probably be a little time-lapse thing of just figuring things out. I have Google right next to me with Stack Overflow, and I'm just gonna try to weed out what exactly is happening here. It seems to be when I'm at 17.5, which is 7.5. Ooh, that's so weird. Maybe I gotta do fix update. I feel like that's just gonna make it worse, but no, it's not an animation thing either. Okay, looks like changing the fixed update like time for like the designated time for it. Oh, what's the actual name for it? The time step. So changing, so I halved the time step. Now I fear that that might cause problems with other things, but I've been testing around the movement because it's pretty much just a player movement that relies on the fixed time scale. It seems to be fine. Like now, wherever I go, even if I bring it back to that infamous. Oops. Go back here. No, it's fine. I might change the player animation because I notice that his hair flies in a direction, like it kind of goes backwards, and it'd be cool. It would work really well if like I was pushed back a little bit. But it kind of looks like his hair is getting sucked in, so I might change that a bit later on. For now that it pretty much works as intended, it is a bit late though. It feels a bit late. Or maybe because the wind up is... I don't know if I like... Yep. Okay. Well, that could be fixed more later on. Let's just get that projectile done. Okay. I've had, you guys can't see it, but I have the Intuos Creative, something like that. I don't know what's it called. Let's see if I can find an image online real quick. I have this bad boy. Oh. $30 pre-owned. How much is it now? That's not these. I might not even sell it anymore, but I bought this, I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago. It's still working very well, but it is old. I gotta maybe change the power cable. I'm running out of nibs too. They're all dying out. I never had to buy an extra pack. I don't think I'd find the same ones as before, but it's been pretty good. But sometimes he has trouble. Just gonna get the colors. Okay, so I'll start with the fly animation. So just a loop when it's in the air. There's a terrible background for this. Okay. So I want to keep that feeling with the tendrils. So with that, fix that another time. So, got the trusty old Pinterest. I looked up swirly projectile, but there's these things that are kind of close. I don't think I'm gonna draw much of a tail. Oh, I want to save this for another time. We're getting clothes. I just want to kind of... I don't know if I want to know what I'm going to get from this, but magic tendrils. It's not bad. Let's see where we go with this. Like, I'm looking for something chaotic. That swirls and forms a ball. But even the ball is kind of still imperfect while it's completed. Like, it's close, sir. It's closer to like something like this. I just don't know how, or something like that too. I just don't know what how I would search that up. Ooh, this is getting close. Ooh, something like that. I like these too. Okay, let's work with this. What if... Hopefully the shading and the line work will do some of the heavy lifting with that. Maybe I should do the lines first. I'll do the lines first. And just like per usual, I'm kind of going into this not liking it at all. And I'm having my fingers crossed that I will end up liking it by the end of this. Now, right now, to me, these tendrils and their positionings don't really need to make sense. Seeing that they're going to be moving really, really fast anyways. Making sure, or I'm just going about it willy-nilly. As long as it has some sense of, well, sensibility, especially when the game slows down or when you pause. I'm satisfied with that. And as I just looked at the reference image, which as a reminder is this thing, it's really not looking like that at all. But at least I'm not plagiarizing. Also, as a side note, I think it's completely fine to be inspired by things. I think when you're creating something and you're trying to, essentially remake the wheel, you're just hurting your head for nothing. And oftentimes, what am I doing here? Oftentimes when people break their head around coming up with something original, they just make something that nobody wants. So it's okay to pick things here and there, pick things that already exist and mash them together a bit. sometimes, like for example, I'm not a big fan of roguelikes, but my game does have roguelike elements in it, wherein there's going to be multiple runs, hopefully, and every run is going to be different with a different approach on your builds and what have you. And at least, you know, you just grab things from other genres and you mix them with other things. Grab things that you like from different genres, put them in the mixing bowl, and just cross your fingers and hope they work well together. And if they don't, try something else. Or, you know, you make it work. Just its own little fun challenge too. These look like pretzels. I should have a little color palette, but whatever, we're on the last one. Might make a fourth. We'll see. I should have more things like this that just kind of loop into each other. It's interesting. Well, it looks like a mix of a pretzel and a bush. Not the ones you find in a forest. But, I mean, kinda works. It's definitely not what I envisioned, but let's see what this looks like. Alright. It's a bigger light. Yeah, not a fan of the tumbleweed. Alright. Back to square one. Okay, you know, before I commit completely to something, let me do something that's just easy. I make a trail. I think I make a trail. Okay, I'm making a trail. So I'll just make this bigger. Kind of looks sussy. Alright, just came back from a little supper break. Still thinking of getting this done by the end of the day, or at least get something that I'm satisfied with. So, I'm gonna start with this, and I will have to change the code a little bit so that it appears on the proper side. Before I make sure that it goes the right way, I just want to see what it looks like. I don't know why it starts like that. Yeah, I don't know why it's starting so big like that. Oh, it's so quick. God damn. Why is it spawning so big? Okay, it ain't buffering with itself, but at least I got the spawning to fix properly. Just had to switch from start 2 to this to awake. Okay, I like that. I think I'm gonna do something similar. The tendrils, I'm just gonna pop out a bit. Kind of makes it pop up a bit more. Kind of looks like it's spinning a bit. Okay, I like that. Okay. Okay, I'm starting to get a bit brain dead from all of this, so I'm gonna have to push this to one more day. Yeah, okay, that's what we'll do. Alright, on to the next day.